Rise and shine, ladies and gentlemen, rise and shine. Not that I wish to imply that y'all have been sleeping on this week's podcast. No one is more deserving of a rest, and all the efforts in the world would have gone to waste until, well, let's just say your hour has come again. The right people in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world. So wake up, ladies and gentlemen, wake up and listen to the Some Sort of Gaming podcast. Today is March 29th, 2020, and whatever my intro was this past 40 seconds, I'm pretty sure you know what we're going to be talking about, if you know what I'm talking about. But first, I'm here with Zeldrick and UnsheathedProductions. LadyInfamous is not here this week because we actually don't know why. But she let us know that she's not going to be here today. But let's just start off with Zeldrick and what he's been doing this past week.
Well, I hope what we're going to talk about is breakfast, because that shit's always amazing. But this week has been just a lot of work for me. I made some pretty good money this week, but also was able to finish Sekiro and Final Fantasy VII this week. And I'm really, really happy about that, to put two games I'm working on to a close.
Which one was better?
Fucking Final Fantasy VII was much more enjoyable because it was just relaxing. If you heard me fucking rant about Sekiro, there were just some things about that game where I'm just I was just deeply frustrated about, because I wish it was a different game.
Like Dark Souls 2.
God, Dark Souls 2 is awful. Out of all of them, Dark Souls 2 is awful. It's so milquetoast and boring. But when I had, the thing is with Sekiro, the ending was really good, and everything, because there's supposed to be 4 endings, and I got the most not detailed, the most steps to complete to get this ending. And I made sure that I got this one.
Wait, say that again?
So this ending, you had to go through a huge list of steps just to get this one ending. And It's a lot of going back and forth of talking between people. And then going through a completely different route. Which
did you get that ending specifically because you heard it was a better ending or something? Or how'd you end up with that ending?
I ended up with this ending because I was first trying to look up where exactly I was in the game, just so I could be all right, I have these areas to go through. I might be halfway or quarter way or whatever. I just want to know how much left of the game I had, which shows the amount of, want to finish this game already. So when I looked that up, I also found a page that was endings, as in more than one. I was like, wait a minute, what? So as I went down ending 1, or not even numbered, I saw the first 2 listed, and I was like, okay, well, those are simple. You get to the 3rd one, it's this huge fucking page. And I'm like, wait a minute, if there's so much detail for this one ending, this has to be maybe the better one, right? And personally, I actually thought it was better, because as far as for how the other 2 went, there might have been a death when there shouldn't have been, or it kind of feels a little bit more fulfilling with this return ending, and it kind of leaves it open to a continuation of Sekiro. And when I got to this ending, I started to feel I actually felt like I wanted a second game, because I want to know where this story goes. And my idea was, because they're saying because the dragon's heritage came from the West, and for the time period of this my first thought was, what if they made ninjas and cowboys, and they just went to the Americas, and it was just Sekiro fighting off a whole bunch of cowboys in the Wild West. It was a really dumb idea, but it's still kind of funny and something I want to see in my head. I don't know, but it's dumb. But it just sounds like an anime, so one that we probably have all seen before. But But then, yeah, I finished Final Fantasy VII, and that one, I did what I wanted to do, which was get every Ultima weapon, get everybody's final limit break, get Knights of the Round. Like, those were the only things that I ever wanted for this run through, because when I first played it, I didn't do that. I just got one ultimate weapon, I believe, and that was it. And I didn't even know about it, I think. And I just happened to get it when I was younger. And I decided that even though like my best party members were Red 13 and Sid, I decided to beat Final Fantasy VII with the party that I beat it with when I was younger, which was Red 13 and Vincent. And I thought just because they were cool, that's why I picked them. But they have a bigger background when it comes to the entire story of Final Fantasy VII. So it's a little bit more, to me anyways, a little bit more meaningful. Then, of course, on Fridays, I do Dungeons and Dragons, and I streamed that. And this time was actually not my day. Because, like, the first couple of sessions, because I'm playing as a Dragonborn monk, and I was just fucking, like, we're playing Mines of Phandelver, and like the first place that you go to is a goblin cave, and I just wiped the floor with everybody in there, and I did like the best killing move, which was I have a detail about that I don't think I said last week, which was like I did an unarmed strike. I did 2 unarmed strikes on this, what I think was a dire wolf, and killed it. And or no, I didn't do 2 unarmed strikes. I did one unarmed strike, and then as another action, I used my acid breath to kill 2 goblins running away. So like just that ending was very fulfilling for me. But then this time it was like I was failing my moves. I was feeling my skill, my skill checks. I was failing like everything, and everybody else had their day. So you can't win them all. But I learned. I don't know if I said this last time, but like I learned that I was gimping myself throughout this first half, of like what we were playing, because I thought, as a monk, you had to do an unarmed strike to get your bonus action of an unarmed strike. And it turns out that you just have to make an attack with an unarmed strike or a simple weapon or your monk weapon. And then you can do an unarmed strike on top of that. So, but I'm doing some sort of role play that sort of maybe fits in with that, because like before, my Dragonborn character was leaving a guy behind only to like get information off of them, and then afterwards like let them go, because he was of the mindset of like, because we need something off of you, you help us, we'll help you in return by sparing your life and just don't come back. And so far, like, yeah, that has worked out. But at this point, because the last time we played, one of the red brands tried to take one of his scales during like a pseudo like prisoner. Like he and the other
he tried to do what to one of his scales?
Try to take one of his scales, like use a knife,
okay.
and take one of his scales. Because the plan was to get into the red brand hideout was to for the tiefling and the half orc to fake trying to be a red brand and tie us up as prisoners to take in, because we were so different among everybody, and because like Dragonborns are so rare around those parts, especially me coming from the Far East and a monk. It would be better to that being the disguise and faking these ropes around our hands. So like this like halfling tried to take one of his scales, and like that's when my character was like visibly pissed off, like, because in my mind, like, Dragonborns are kind of proud of their scales, even if they might not show it. But if not, then like it's more of a Far East sort of thing. And then at the end of the battle, once we got there, I was like, no, I'm going to kill this motherfucker. And I had a couple people of the party like worried about this character. And I was like, no, this is actually his true colors showing, which is great because to be a Way of the Shadow, which is a ninja type character, you're essentially serving a family, or you're a part of like a thieves guild or something like that, and you don't take any prisoners, or you get information, like that sort of thing of if somebody knows you exist, you kill them. So it's kind of like setting some background and some character development, and I really like that. Anywho, nice. Besides that, nothing. I haven't been up to really much anything else. What about you, T?
I mean, I wish that I could say that I was playing all the games in the world, but honestly, like the games that I play that I played this past week were kind of more so worth us all talking about it at the same time. Because I really only got a chance to play 2. One of them being Oasis, Last Oasis, which I think we could talk about, right?
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah. Last Oasis and Uno. That's basically all I got a chance to play this week. I guess we can start out with Last Oasis. And again, the reason why I said that everybody can talk about it is because all 3 of us ended up actually playing the game together. And I guess where did you get it from? Was it like kind of a beta key giveaway or something like that? They were
yeah, so like which I think it's just because I'm part of either NorCal Casters or I'm in the Twitch Kittens like Discord or whatever, like because I'm on their mailing list and stuff. They also signed up with Noise GG, and I signed up for the Last Oasis beta fucking what feels like a year ago. It feels like forever ago since I signed up for it, and I thought, okay, I just didn't get in or whatever. And then they're like, oh yeah, so there's some early access like right before the game launches, so here's a key and 2 more. I'm like, okay. So I just had to stream like an hour or 2 of it before it released, and we all got to do that. I mean, overall, for what we did, I had a good time. I don't know about you guys.
Well, for me, I think, I mean, obviously had a good time playing with you guys. I think that's kind of like par for the course with respect to like adding some form of co-op into a game. Like I'm pretty much always going to enjoy it more just because I'll end up playing it with my friends. But I mean, overall, like just getting to where we got in terms of like having to farm resources and go through the tutorials so that we could build our walkers and all that kind of stuff. That part was like, it was fun. I think the only thing that kind of started like getting to me with respect to the game was like, you know, once you had almost finished creating, what is that thing called again? The
dinghy?
Walker? The dinghy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So once you had gotten to almost creating that, the first thing I was thinking of was like, where does it go from here? Like, what do you do after this?
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I was expecting like a little bit more in the range of like options in terms of what you could do, but it almost seems like it could fall into the trap of, I mean, it's a good and a bad thing, but depending on your perspective. But the idea of like, you have to kind of make your own experience in the game. So in the vein of Minecraft, like Minecraft has like this whole system where you can, you can mine resources, build things or whatever, but really like the meta of it is what people enjoy. I'm kind of wondering if that's kind of where they're going with this game. It's just like, basically people are going to find their own way to make their own type of game out of it rather than them just having like an abundance of content. Because I didn't get it in. I didn't get the impression that there was just going to be so much stuff to do after we played what we played.
Right. And I think it's more, even more make an analogy of like Ark Survival Evolved. Cause
like, which I didn't
what's
play,
that pirate game?
Atlas.
Wait, was it? No. I see Summit playing this.
I mean, the
Are you
pirate
talking about
one,
the cartoony one?
Yeah.
Oh, Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, Sea of Thieves. Yeah, that's what it was.
I guess so, but like, it has more of like a crafting tree. And
I was gonna say, I don't think Sea of Thieves has much crafting, and Ark definitely has a ton of it in there.
Right. And like Ark has a baseline story of go to these points and like figure out what the hell happened. But ultimately, the most time you're spending on it and anybody else is interacting with other people, whether it be PvE or PvP, and like learning all these crafting recipes and then going out to craft them and then going out to like Ark doesn't really have that, but but the added part of it is you can go to these different areas that are different climates.
Which we didn't get a chance to do before we finished our stream, but that would have been cool to see. What did they have? They had like some sort of like basically a fire level and an ice level, right?
Yeah, they had a tundra level and a lava level.
But there was tundra, like a frozen tundra type thing?
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say I knew there was something that I was like, yeah, here comes the ice level that I'm not gonna like. But
yeah, and so like at this point, I'm pretty sure because it was before actually the notes that I did get, they did say that our characters would be wiped, so we would have to start over.
Oh, of course,
yeah.
I'm not surprised. It was what was it? Alpha?
Yeah, but it's still in early access, so technically, and it's
like yeah, you can buy it right now still. So
yeah, it's like $25, and honestly, like I don't know, like I feel like that for people that do like stuff like Ark and or Minecraft, not necessarily Minecraft, I guess, but that sort of thing, where the main point or the main thing that you're doing is finding resources and gathering. But whenever you start playing the game, it is immediately PvP. Like there are no walls on it. Then like go ahead and have fun with it for $25. I'm just hoping that there's going to be more optimization fixes for that game, because it's not really that it ran all right and pretty good for me. There's just some sort of like animation bugginess and graphical stuff that looked kind of jank.
For me, it was like
definitely
some frame rate issues.
Yeah, it looked like an early access game.
Exactly.
Like, it looked great, but like there were definitely, you could see it in the animation. Like I had a bunch of crashes. Sharpie was having frame rate issues. I don't remember you had anything.
I didn't have anything. It was the same thing as Sharpie, like only specifically that if I turned real fast, there were some frame drops, and that was it. But like even then, it was like
literally spiking when you were like turning really fast.
Right, and that is entirely an optimization and graphical thing. So it seems like that they are going to. They're going to. Well, I actually don't know who is making this, because Donkey Crew doesn't ring a bell for anything at all. And from what
is that
checked,
the name of the developers?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Developed and published by Donkey Crew.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, for as well as a start off this game had, even before it was launched, seems like it'll be good. It's got like a bright future if they pay attention to it. So,
and it seems like there's like a lot of hype behind it too. So
yeah,
it's a Polish company.
The other thing is, so I'm taking a look at their Twitter right now too. And in 3 days in a row, actually, I'll just say 4 days in a row. Their last tweets were, we have activated an official service account for providing server status updates. Please follow this Twitter account. A message from our producers. We want to share another update from one of our producers. And then we are suspending Last Oasis servers for the next 7 days. Full refunds will be offered regardless of your playtime.
Oh, geez. They're suspending it for 7 days?
Yep.
Wow. Huh. I wonder what that's about.
This is the first time I'm actually seeing stuff. Or
yeah, I mean, they could literally just be working on their their servers or whatever, just to try to make them, well, improve them so they can handle like the load of the number of people that want to play or something like that.
Exactly, and that's the thing, because when when we were playing, somebody in my chat was saying that that they were restarting the servers every every amount of time throughout the day, so that they could get rid of like clutter and kind of like items that are dropped and stuff. And it's a really weird way to like refresh the servers or whatever the fuck. And even when they did that, like there were placements of some buildings and objects that changed. So it's weird. Like I don't know what's really going on with them and like how this game is functioning and being made, but already like we could tell from just this, what was it, like 5 hours that we played, like if there's going to be a ton of people playing, the servers are not going to handle it.
Yeah. What'd you think overall of the game, Sharpie?
I mean, it was engaging for me. The problem is that I'm probably not gonna buy it because I feel like this is something that you need at least 10 people or even 20 people who you know that you're gonna be playing with. So that's what it seems like to me.
Well, I mean, one that you're not going to buy, but this was actually a copy of the game that you got.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
so
did
like
we?
That,
yes. I thought it was just like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh, really?
I'll play it again.
This is like, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But I'm probably not, I don't know if I will like continue playing it like actively, like how some people do with like Ark or Rust.
Right. Though, like, would you be interested in like getting enough resources to just travel to like a few other places to see what it looks like or like what it takes?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I want to see the sandworm too. That's somebody in my chat saying like, oh, when you get killed by the sandworm, there's like an actual cinematic scene.
Yeah. So like it seems like that it had a lot of stuff going for it, but we'll see how this turns out since now the servers are down.
And I'm actually looking like on Steam right now, and I think it's like the third or fourth review, like probably kind of encapsulates what Sharpie's saying, where it's like, first of all, let me say I actually do enjoy the game. And then like a little bit further down, it says, this game is not solo friendly. Don't let the store page or hype swept players lie to you.
Yeah. No, exactly.
It probably is something where you want to roll with a group of people. Otherwise, you're just going to get like harassed by like whatever groups are out there.
Exactly like Rust. Like one of those things of like, if you spawn in outside of the tutorial area, once you get out there, like immediately you're going to get ganked. You're going to get fucked over unless you're logging in with a few people. I'm
surprised how long we were in the area without actually. I mean, I think both of you guys got chased down by like somebody in a dinghy, right? Like at separate times.
Well, I got chased down by a guy in the dinghy.
I thought Zeldrick, you did too.
No, I thought I was going to, but there was a dinghy with like 4 other people on it, and they like kind of stopped right in front of me, and they were trying to turn so that they can get through like where I was, where I was building mine, and I was like, oh fuck, they're gonna try to kill me, and so like I started to I walked away and I started to run away, and when they were. Then they started going my way and they just drove right past me. Yeah. So it's one of those things of like, I have to watch for my own back like the entire time. And I don't like that. As soon as even the tutorial area, like I got 3 missions into the tutorial area, and it's like, okay, you need to go find this. But then also when we were talking to each other, we found out that I was spawned all the way in the north area and you guys were all the way in the south area. So I was like, fuck. So I tried to go out of my little hole or whatever to try to go around. Saw one guy, he immediately charged me and killed me. And I was like,
oh, so you got killed by a player.
Yeah. I didn't get far. Like that's when I was like, oh, just don't kill me. Like I'm trying to like move past. And no, he came right after me and killed me. It was another player. And I was like, I immediately hate this game. I don't want to play it. Just because like I'm in the tutorial area. Like I want to learn how to play, but also like I don't like having an open world where just real life anybody can just kill me.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I haven't been a fan since like what's it called? It was in the Division, the Dark Zone.
Oh yeah.
It used to be the exact same thing. Like we'd be going on a mission and we get all the way to the end, and then somebody that's however many levels above us would just massacre us and take everything that we just got before we could extract. super annoying.
Can that happen between teammates?
In Dark Zone?
In the Division, no, there wasn't friendly fire, I don't think.
No, there wasn't.
But yeah, and this, I mean, okay, so I didn't realize you actually got into a fight with a player because I never did. What did you, first off, tell me you had your beat stick on.
The thing is, I had my beat stick on me, and then because I was still trying to learn the controls and like how to block and stuff, because it gives you the tutorial, and I had that tutorial, but I was trying to still practice it. Yeah. And so I just wanted to move on so I can get to you guys. So,
well, okay, so you probably can't answer my question because I was going to ask, like, how was it in that 1v1 fight? Because when we were playing, I think we all felt a little bit weird about the mechanics of like blocking and attacking and stuff. Like it took a little getting used to, and it was a little bit like, kind of clunky.
You have to scroll your mouse.
Yeah. So did you feel like that was that system kind of worked well at all in like a PvP like scenario?
I could not tell you, really.
I honestly couldn't tell you either because I was getting frame spikes when I turned my cursor.
Yeah, and like when it was against normal, or when it was against like NPC enemies, I could block everything like just fine. However, doing the same thing when it comes to like different swing attacks, like doing a right swipe or an overhead or a left swipe or whatever, like having to do that was still finicky. Like I don't really like that sort of thing. I'm fine with it for blocking, but I ended up having a longer than usual exchange with some monkey with a barbed wire baseball bat. Like it was block, like both of us were blocking for probably like a good 20 seconds. We were blocking each other's attacks. I'm like, this is not getting anywhere. Like I'm trying to hit you and I can't do anything. But it was like I had to swing in a specific direction. But if I didn't get the correct look this way and then click to do a right swipe attack, then like I would get blocked. And then the exchange would keep going on. So it's a lot of, I think there's too much movement with the camera to be able to do that, because it's like you look left to block left. And then if you had to swipe right, then you have to block left and then immediately look all the way to your right and then click attack and you do a right swipe. So that your camera's moving around all over and it's visually unpleasing.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's cool. I didn't really know we had full copies of the game, so I definitely play it again. But I'm with Sharpie in the sense of saying that I probably won't latch on to this game and have it be something I play like on a regular basis, unless maybe it gets better because it's still in early access and like maybe as they improve the game, it might make it a lot more appealing. But I mean, y'all know for me already, I'm not like really a survival game type of person, so. But I did have fun with y'all.
I thought you just didn't like management games.
I hate survival, dude. I'm not a fan because of when you die. That's the problem. Like half the time you die, you like lose all your resources. Like you can spend all that time and then lose a bunch of stuff because somebody killed you that was like way more powerful. Exactly what you guys are saying in terms of like, you show up in a game like Rust or something and somebody's just like crazy stronger than you or has better gear or something and kills you after you just spend a bunch of time doing stuff. Like that kind of grind, I don't like it. So at least the reason why I think I enjoyed this game is because at least in that tutorial section, I came across a lot of people, probably like at least 9 or 10 people, and not one of them attacked me. So I think that's kind of why like I enjoyed it, is because it was kind of more chill. And obviously the co-op part of it, but it's like, I know once you get into like out into the real world and you got actual PvP going on and people are just going to start attacking me for no reason. Yeah. They're going to lose me.
Immediately after we got out of the tutorial level, like our chat feed was this player killed this player for the rest of the time we were playing. And
and before that, it was all like this monkey killed this person.
Yeah. Or died of dehydration.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
or died from gravity.
From
or
gravity,
like that.
yeah. But yeah, like I said, I'll play it. I'd play it again, just especially since we have the full game, just to see kind of how it goes. But moving on, we also all got together and finally played Uno. Well, let me change that. If like three of us and one jackass got together and played Uno. Yeah, Sharpie was killing us.
It was more like Sharpie was being the troll that I know from like 10 years ago. Trolls that I know like 10 to 12 years ago. Because after this huge setup of you doing like, oh man, I'm playing the meta. And then the second time you're like doing the same meta, you're like, oh shit, I got disconnected. All right, we'll see it. And you just dip.
Dude, so
man,
I don't know if you watched like anybody's archive. Was I the only one stream? No. If you watched anybody's archive of the game, what you did fucked up the deck so hard.
It fucked it up. Okay, well, I think we need to like start from the beginning on this.
Yeah.
Because like when we were playing Uno, I made the room and we had it so that it was zeros and sevens turn the cards, or sevens you swap hands with somebody. Zero it turns clockwise or counterclockwise, stacking, and then challenging plus fours. And then Sharpie here got the idea of, oh, I'm just going to keep drawing cards because I'm allowed to. And you would end up with a hand that was like 35 cards to 40 to 45 cards. And it would just keep going.
60.
And then eventually 60. Actually, that wasn't until round two. Because we found out that from this, there can only be 100 cards on the table. And when this happened, his plan was, I mean, I'm not going to steal it. You talk about this. Go for it.
Yeah. So basically my plan was just to like wait till somebody ends up with 1 or 2 cards, and then I play a 7. I trade cards with them, and then like and then that's my risk of like trying to win.
So when that happened, and the second time around, and you got quote disconnected, and then you left
quote,
and that's why I put it that way, because it showed in the game JSharpie disconnected, and you're like, wait. Oh God, I got disconnected. All right, we'll see ya. And then you left the call. Like beat for beat, that's what happened. And then when I
was like, okay, I'll see you guys later, because I was like saying, well, I mean, it's already late, and then like it seems like everybody else just wanted to end the game anyway. So I was like saying, okay, there's probably not going to be another game after this, so that's why I left.
How much longer did that game take after the AI took control, T? Like 30 minutes?
I mean, it was definitely under 30 minutes. I don't know exactly how long, but yeah, it still took a while afterwards. And you should have seen the AI when he came in. It was just like, he had like however many cards you had, and it was like, play a 7 and swap with somebody, and then be like, I don't want it, and then he'd be like, no, you taking it back, because you had like all the 7s. Yeah. So whoever got the hand would give it back, and then they like, it just kept swapping hands like forever.
The AI and I had an exchange that lasted for quite a while, because he played a 7, took my hand, and it was immediately then I could stack that 7, and so I played that 7 and then took that hand back, and then he's like, nah, I want that hand back, and he took that card back, or that hand back. So it was this back and forth of giving each other the fucking huge as fuck stack that you had. Oh my God, it was so fucking funny. But like when we got to the end of the deck, because it happened again, we got to the end of the deck, and we were playing cards, and I was able to stack a lot of the cards. Those cards would go back into the deck to pull from, and I was exclaiming probably like 4 times, I'm getting my same cards back that I just played.
Oh yeah, I remember that too.
It was fucking ridiculous. That's why I hate you for this.
I'm pretty sure like at some point, when you got disconnected, do you remember having a bunch of blue cards?
I don't know. I just remember like I had so many of each colored cards that I was like,
at some point the computer had like basically like all blue cards, and I assume that had something to do with like the fact that you kept on changing the color blue like you would draw until it forced you to play something, and half the time it would be a draw for or like a wild card, and you would play it the blue or whatever. But there was like a time where like the computer kept changing it to blue, and nobody else had blue cards. They kept having to pull forever because there were like no blue cards in the deck. So I was like, the deck is like totally fucked up from like all of that stuff that was happening earlier. But yeah, that one game was at least an hour and a half or an hour and 45 minutes across when you were playing. Because I know it was over an hour when you got disconnected, and I know we played like for a little while longer, so it had to be an hour and a half to like an hour and 45 minutes.
Well, this is definitely Uno the movie.
Yeah. LadyInfamous is probably like, I ain't never playing Uno with Sharpie again.
Well, at least with the seven rule.
Oh yeah, that's right. I guess it wouldn't really work necessarily if you if those rules weren't on there.
If it wasn't for that 7 rule, like then I wouldn't have done that, because it's like, oh, okay, well, if I had a lot of cards and the person is trying to get rid of their cards, I should just trade with them.
Yeah. Anyways, that was like, it was super fun. I think we had fun and we were frustrated at the same time, because at least the competition was
Monopoly
there.
Though, that wouldn't have happened, because there's no way to like extend the game in Monopoly.
No,
maybe not the digital version, but people make up their own rules in the real version.
There's also house rules in the digital version too.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, that's how people extend it in like the actual board game versions.
It's rules. Mostly that free parking bullshit that makes it extend the game. You know, the whole like, oh, you're paying taxes, oh, you're paying the bank, put that money in free parking, and if whoever lands there gets all the money there.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever played with that rule.
Oh yeah, free parking is supposed to not do anything.
Well, I mean, I would like to play Monopoly. That'd be fun. The digital version.
I think that would be more like, more streamlined than what I was doing.
More
because there's I don't think you can really do anything other than be able to spend like 20 minutes haggling with another person, which I don't think anybody wants to do.
I don't think anybody wants to like haggle with somebody for more than a minute.
I mean, you'd be surprised. I remember I played Monopoly with like a few of my friends, like the actual board game, like during, while we were all in college. And there was this one time, it was just 2 people left, and they were saying, okay, if you get this, if I trade you this, and doing this, I'll give you immunity on this spot, and all the color spots right here, right? And then he will keep, and then that exchange went on for like 10 minutes.
Well, that's what I mean by like all those made up rules that extended.
Yeah. Because like, from the Monopoly that I've seen, like there's no immunity on a space for that game. I've not seen that option at all. But also, like, for the 4 of us, you're the only one that wants to spend 10 minutes haggling. We're gonna be like, no, we're not doing this trade, and then just move on.
Yep. Oh, maybe we'll play it in the future.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyways, yeah, that's all. Those 2 are basically all I got to play. And yeah, because work kind of like ramped up a little bit. So as much as I was like kind of just jazzed on the fact that I was working from home with air quotes around it, and there wasn't a ton to do, so I'd have a ton of time to play games last week. The week before last, this last week, the same thing didn't happen. So unfortunately, I didn't get to stream as much. But
so you were kind of coasting.
For the first like 2 weeks, I was 100% coasting. Just like getting paid to do like barely anything. But yeah, this last week I had a bunch of stuff to do. So and this next week I'll have some more to do, but not as much. So I'll probably play a lot more games again. But what'd you get to do this week, Sharpie?
So I played for the first time in probably over like a year or 2, Counter-Strike in competitive. And the reason why I did that is because one of my streamer friends that's not in the Bay Area. She invited me she just randomly invited me because I think she just wanted to play with a bunch of people, and she invited a bunch of her friends too, other friends too. So like, I was like saying, oh, okay, well, why not? Because I wasn't really doing anything. And I was like saying, oh shit, I totally forgot. Like, I totally remember everything about the game except the fact that I totally forgot the feeling of playing in competitive mode. That was actually fun. Yeah.
Like, what do you mean by the feeling of playing in competitive mode?
Like the fact that like your ranking is on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like the fact that, okay, well, I can't just go out guns blazing. Like, you know, I mean, Counter-Strike, you can't really do that unless you're playing like a team deathmatch type of game. But at the same time, like you're just going, it's literally like a tactical shooter that's, you know, in 45-degree angles, right? Because that's what the Source engine was designed around. So I was like saying, oh wow, this is like like the fact that I'm able to like, you know, play and like be strategic and like, you know, see how well I aim. Like it brought my my focus level to like 110% again. That was fun.
How'd you do overall though?
How did I do overall?
Yeah.
In the beginning, I was doing fine. And then I realized my microphone was not working in game. And I can't figure out why. But my microphone wasn't working in game. So like I had to like use radio commands or type or chat, like actually type out like everything on what was going on or what I was seeing.
Which probably like kills some of your efficiency, right?
Yeah, and that killed some of my efficiency because the radio commands are pretty good in Counter-Strike. Like you push like C1 for affirmative and C2 for
what is C1?
The letter C on your keyboard is for team communication.
Oh, so okay, got you.
And then like it gives you prompts on like, okay, what do you want to say?
Yeah, so C1 is just like a quick way to do it. Like you'd press C and then press 1, but you just know what that's assigned to.
Yeah, and then like V is like, you know, another sort of communication, like enemy spotted or something like that. Like I'm pretty sure you heard this radio commands before because it's pretty well known in the gaming community.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, if you heard it, you'll be like saying, oh, so that came from Counter-Strike. You know, it's like it'll say like enemy spotted or like, you know, the bomb has been planted and stuff like that. It sounds like a radio sound. But anyways, like so I played that for like maybe one game, but another one was we played Lost Ark and we call it Uno. Also, yesterday I played Warzone again.
Yeah.
And that was actually a lot of fun. I still have a problem that when there's an update from the BNet client and you launch the game and then it tells you, okay, now you have to restart the game again to apply the update. I'm like, what? I just updated this, through the BNet client.
Wait, but it doesn't do another update. It just kind of forces you to restart the game.
Yeah, it tells you to restart the game after you launch the game after you updated it.
Yeah, I've had that happen too. It's really annoying.
Yeah, so I was like saying, okay, fine, whatever. And then I realized that since I don't have the main game, like the paid version of the game, so I don't have like the normal multiplayer mode, the best way to level up your gun is to play the money mode.
Plunder. Okay.
Yeah, plunder. I think they changed the name of that to like something else.
Really?
But yeah, they called it like money mode or something like that. So I was like saying, okay, fine, I'll just play this, the money mode version because you keep respawning instead of having to wait for another lobby to restart the game. So I did that. Another thing that I did was mobile games, right? Like Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, War of the Visions came out last week, and it's a Final Fantasy Tactics type of game.
Mm-hmm.
But I hate the pay structure of that game. I really, really hate the pay structure of the game. Basically, you know how in all these mobile games or free to play games, they have like, you know, in-game currency and the paid currency.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that paid currency, you can actually earn it too, right? Like there's the free version of that paid currency.
Right. Or like you can do in-game achievements to get that paid currency.
Yeah. So that is also split into two, like as if but then it shows it as one, right? That gets split into the paid version of that currency and the free version of that paid currency.
Okay.
And then some things you cannot buy unless you use the actual paid version of that currency.
Wait, you can only get it with the paid version.
Yeah, like you have to pay okay. So again, like I don't know what Dragon Ball uses, but I'm going to use like what do you call it?
It's like diamonds.
So like I'm going to use that as an example, like diamonds, right? Pretend diamonds is that premium currency, right? That gets split into like the diamonds that you actually paid for and the free, like the diamonds that you got through quests and stuff like that, right?
I get it. That's just dumb.
And then and then you have to actually some things you can only buy with the ones that you literally paid for with real money.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah. Not only that, some things are locked forever unless you spend X amount of dollars total, cumulative, since the day you started the game.
Some things are locked forever, as in
like you have to,
What would be like forever?
You spent $100 in this game. Here, you can have this feature in the game.
Oh, what kind of features?
You spend like $1 every day for 100 days, right? Or you can just pay $100 now, and then like here you have this feature now.
Yeah, but what kind of features are you talking about?
Like to make your characters like stronger or be able to like progress through certain being able to farm certain things faster.
Okay, so but you can still do like that activity. It's just that it would
take forever.
Yeah.
Like, what do you call it? Like, there's this thing where you go on a chocobo expedition, and it's like a very passive thing where you set off like a group of 5 people like on this expedition. And there's 3 slots of that, so you can have like 15 people go to that, but you cannot unlock the other 2 slots unless you pay like, I don't know, maybe $1,000.
$1,000?
Yeah.
Like you have because there's this is like what they call the VIP mode, right?
Oh yeah, where Dragon Ball has the same thing. It's nuts.
Yeah, and then it says like, oh, okay, well, in order to unlock this, you have to had spent a total of $1,000 or something like that.
Dude, so to give you an example why this is completely ridiculous, Zeldrick, like, so yeah, there's like VIP tiers. If it's like Dragon Ball, similar kind of thing. There's like VIP tiers where if you spend a certain amount of money, you get upgraded to that tier. And there's, like he said, there's certain functionality that gets unlocked based on like what VIP level you are. One of the things that in this Dragon Ball game is that there's a character, Broly, which you can get if you're VIP 16. It's an air quote gift to you for, I guess, being VIP 16. In order to be 16, let's see, I don't know how much I've spent so far, but it's telling me right now that I would have to spend an extra $7,967 to get him.
Holy shit.
And I'm like, you people are freaking out of your mind right now.
God damn.
There's like this super exclusive skin of, I guess it's literally a skin. It's a skin for a specific character. So it's not like you get the character. You just have like, let's say it's Goku. It's like this Goku skin. $15,967.
Oh my God.
Somebody has it. And I'm like, you people are freaking nuts if you think I'm going anywhere near that number.
Well, yeah,
mobile game.
I'm sure that somebody has gotten at least close to that because we've done or we've read articles where some guy spent like $2,000 on a Transformers game that was just like, it was entirely gotcha. Like that was it. Like It's fucking ridiculous. But the fact that this game, how long has this Dragon Ball game been out? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well,
but I assume that it's probably not the first of its kind to do that kind of VIP system. I imagine it's probably like pretty widespread at this point.
Because my idea is that like, I mean, putting in the perspective of like for everybody that like wants to say like, oh, it's just like a cup of coffee a day or some shit like that for whatever organization and stuff. But like, that's not even like
that's a lot of cup of coffees if you're going to stack
like a
bunch
cup
of
of
these
coffee
things
a
together.
day for life.
Right? So like I'm trying to like mentally like I'm trying to do this math in my head and be like, okay, well, $1 a day, that's $365 in 1 year. Okay, well, that's not going to get you close to like $2,000 anytime soon. Okay, well, $5 a day, maybe, okay, that's close, but that's $5. Say that like what, $5 in 1 month for every day. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, you already had $150.
Exactly, on like a mobile game. Holy shit, no way.
And the crazy thing is, like in this game, for the most part, like I bet you, the Final Fantasy game Sharpie's talking about is kind of similar. Like, to get that amount of money, literally all you can buy is the in-game currency. There's like nothing else to buy. Really.
Oh no! In this Final Fantasy game, you can actually also buy like packs too. Like same with the normal Brave Exvius too, where you can actually buy like a character and all of its upgrades.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
how much does that cost?
$80.
Oh, yeah, right.
For one character.
I want a fully upgraded Ariana Grande.
Oh no, that's for the normal Brave Exvius, but it's in that one too. Except those are, I think, like in the beginning for the normal Brave Exvius, it was like pretty like standard, but then like these days they're like pretty forgiving. Like oh yeah, like if you buy like the currency the normal way, like it's pretty expensive. But now like they have like these bundles like every week and every month now, like, and every event that occurs, that's much more forgiving than just buying the currency.
Yeah, I definitely feel like mobile games are kind of flying under the radar in terms of like the gaming landscape. Even though they're doing the exact same thing that those freaking loot crates everybody was pissed off about.
Yeah,
like this thing.
Yeah, but
it's
the
just
thing
like
is that those loot crates, you pay for the game on top of that.
This is true.
Oh, sure. Yeah. But at the same time, no, I guess, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but I also still don't think like this loot crate system is that great anyways, which is why I'm kind of forgiving when it comes to like, oh, well, you can just buy the character and stuff like that.
In Brave Exvius?
Yeah, or in this version of Brave Exvius, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, to me, that's the preferred way to do it. At that point, it's like, that's kind of just sort of standard gaming type stuff. Like, yeah, just, Killer Instinct or whatever. It's like you get the base game and buy whatever characters you want.
Yeah, but those are like $10, $15, but then like in this one, it's like $80 for like
you bugging for $80.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but overall, like I actually finished like the first part of the story until they add more parts of the story into the game, right? Because it is a like an ever changing thing because it is a mobile game.
Sure.
Like they will continuously add more story content to it, and then it says like, okay, more will come. Like after I finished that, I was like saying, okay, well the story wasn't bad, but it wasn't like Final Fantasy Tactics great. And
how close does it seem in terms of gameplay to Final Fantasy Tactics?
It's pretty similar. Yeah, it's pretty similar. Like you literally have to face towards the like your enemy units to take less damage, but they can always go to the side. So you have to like place yourself so they can't go to their sides and go to your side or behind you.
Yeah, I've never actually played a tactics game, so I don't know.
Yeah,
but I'm just curious. Maybe it's a chance to jump in.
I think Final Fantasy Tactics is probably like the most complex tactics games I played.
Wait, so when you call it tactics game, is it just a style of game, like gameplay?
Yeah, like you're on a like on a grid, square grid.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I asked that because like I know Final Fantasy Tactics literally has it in its name, so I was trying to make sure it wasn't like some developer who just makes like all these tactics games.
There's another Nintendo game that everybody likes, which is what do you call it?
Tactics Advance?
No. God,
is that Fire Emblem
just
or whatever?
Came out like last year on the Switch.
Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem, yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, that's like pretty much a tactics game. But I feel like the original Final Fantasy Tactics is way like a lot more complex because you literally have to face certain directions after you finish your turn.
This is true. Like there several times, or for like several tactics style games, like as far as for the more mainstream type of stuff that's not like on like a Divinity or anything like that. Like I would say that Final Fantasy Tactics is a little bit more complicated than what we have nowadays.
Yeah.
Like I if you want to like try to compare it to like anything else, like you kind of can't, but my first thought every time of like comparing tactics games is always Fire Emblem or Advanced Wars. And Advanced Wars is
the one I was trying to think of. Advanced Wars.
Yeah, and Advanced Wars is pretty basic.
Yeah, Advanced Wars is pretty basic. The game that's like very similar to Advanced Wars that came out recently was Wargroove, which I played.
Yeah.
Wasn't Advanced Wars on like the Game Boy or something like that?
No, it was on the Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy Advance. Yeah, gotcha. I assume it'd have to be relatively simple at that point.
Yeah, that's like a very simplified version of a tactics game.
Yeah.
It's like the Civ Rev of the Civ world kind of thing.
Pretty much, actually.
Kind of, yeah. I guess you can say that. Yeah, and then you also have. I guess you can say it's. Would it be more like Front Mission?
I couldn't tell you. I never played a Front Mission game.
It might. I think it might be closer to Front Mission also. Oh, and like what do you call it? Super Robot Wars.
Yeah, I never played Super Robot Wars either.
I've only heard of it, never played it.
As people who watch anime, I think Super Robot Wars is something you might want to get into, or might want to look into.
Yeah.
But yeah, so right now there's like a Final Fantasy 14 event going on, and then like you have to like unlock certain thing, and then you can literally unlock freaking Thancred in Brave Exvius right now. So I already did that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and he's considered like one of the top tier characters. Like, but they're like one of the default characters is still considered number one, and I don't have her. So like he's like my main right now.
Where's he from?
Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, he's from 14. Gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, the event's going on for like the next 2 weeks, and and I was like saying, okay, well, hopefully this game can last, because this VIP bullshit and this like currency like splitting bullshit, like I don't know if I like that very much.
Yeah, that sounds stupid.
So as you've been talking about this, like I downloaded this game. And like I'm kind of like playing it right now, but the thing is a gripe that I have with these RPG mobile games is that when you boot it up, you don't go to a menu. They place you directly into the game, and I'm just like, I just want to go to the menu. Like,
oh yeah.
Please just bring me to the main menu, the main menu that you get into the game, and then let me click on story, and then you can put me into the story. And it aggravates me so much. That's the reason why I gave up on like a couple of mobile games, like right out of the gate, because I would have to sit through like an hour worth of combat and story before I actually got to the menu, and it's like fucking. I don't have time. Like, please.
Yeah.
Like, well, this is bullshit.
I think the reason why they do that is because, like, even when you get to the menu, you just get overwhelmed with so many options to go through.
Right. So, like, bring me to the menu and then tell me all the stuff of what each thing does. And it's like, okay, I know that it has this mechanic, this gotcha mechanic, whatever the fuck. All right. Now I'll go into the story, see how combat works. Like, I kind of prefer it that way rather than, I want to see how the game plays, and then see that, it's actually this kind of game where like it shows you all the pay features and shit. So That's just
so
me.
that was pretty much my week. Like a lot of the time was just me trying to like analyze like on this particular mobile game, like saying how fair is this thing, compared to like all the other mobile games that I played. And I will say this is like the least fair one that I played. but I like the tactics system. Like I was like it's unfortunate that this currency system is in this particular game.
Yeah, and I do have to say, like, I've seen a couple of games on phone that do this tactics type of style too. And I will say that this has a lot better artwork than all the other ones I've seen that are on mobile.
It has that Final Fantasy tactics artwork.
It does, but like it's kind of like more of like one of those things of not to say like the old tactics art is bad. No, that stuff is really good, but kind of like a progression of art. It like takes it and then like builds upon it. So no, that like the artwork is pretty good for this type of game on phone.
Maybe I'll try it too.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, if you don't like spending a lot of times on phone games, like I wouldn't recommend this.
I spend way too much time on this freaking Goku game. So
no, like this is a time sink because you can have it on auto battle mode, but when the game gets really hard, like later on certain events and stuff like that, like
you'll just like
you don't
lose
want
in auto battle
to
mode.
do auto because you'll probably the AI will start making dumbass decisions. Like they'll let all the casters like in the front lines while all the melee people are behind the casters and they can't attack because they only have one square of attack spot. So like you have to wait for the caster to die, wait for 3 turns for them to like disappear, and then they can actually move forward.
Summoning Ifrit was really badass actually. It actually gives you a CG.
Oh yeah, same with Final Fantasy normal Brave Exvius too. Like they actually have CGs for all 3 versions of like each summon.
Yeah, like that's a really nice touch.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I still think the normal Brave Exvius is way better. Like I think it's like the most fair I've seen. I've played like since it started, and most mobile games I actually tried out. I don't know, man. I still think like you guys you should give Brave Exvius a try.
Oh, I already did like a long time ago, and I just
it's way different now than it was back then. Or I wouldn't say way different, but it is a lot different than it was when it first started. Because I played day 1 of that.
I'll stick to like my 1 or 2 phone games, and I'll leave it at that. Because otherwise, like it's just going to take up way too much of my time.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I don't play it on my phone. I use an emulator.
Well, I mean, still, it doesn't matter if it's like on my phone or on an emulator. Like it's still like I run it, and then after I do some stuff, like I have to do a couple of other things. So like after I'm fully done with dailies or whatever the fuck, I have spent like maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours on it, and that's a long time.
Yeah.
So
I usually have it running in the background with macros.
Oh, well, I mean,
I just like press one button and it just does everything for me. Like it has like a timer, like, and everything. I just set that up once.
Well, the couple of games I play, like, I mean, it's the same thing. Like not even just macros. Like I have it set to auto battle, and it plays the entire.
Oh no,
list.
It's not auto battle. It's basically you push a buttons and then you literally set like what it clicks and all that after a certain amount of time.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah, that's what you can do with an emulator. Yeah, they actually have like this macro function where it's like, okay, record what you're going to be pushing, and then like
you're not.
No, like like the Brave Exvius in Brave Exvius, Gumi, the company that develops that game, said like, oh no, that is allowed.
Oh no, we're saying, are you actually playing the game then? It sounds like something else is playing it for you.
I think the biggest time sink for me after doing all that is actually gearing up my characters, like trying to figure out like what is the best gear for my character or getting rid of certain gear. Okay. Well, anyways, we spent an hour on what we were doing this week.
That's fine.
So, what I want to get to now is actual news that actually happened this last week.
Instead of news that did not happen.
Well,
no, I'm just saying the way you phrase it.
Yeah. So let's start off with Half-Life Alyx. It's gotten vastly positive reviews. I'm all across the board.
I am not shocked in the least bit. Like, fucking, I knew that game was going to do well.
When does Valve make a game that is not like pretty positively reviewed across the board?
Half-Life 3.
Just doesn't exist yet.
You mean a game that doesn't exist?
Exactly.
And when it comes out, I bet it'll be positively reviewed. They do a great job with their games. I mean, I can't say anything about Alyx.
So did you see the documentary about how Valve does their work?
No.
How they develop? So basically, like, you know, if you work for Valve as a developer or project manager, you can literally jump around like whatever project you want to work on. Like, it's not like you get placed somewhere and then like you have to work on that.
Yeah, I remember we were talking about this where it's just like, if you get hired by Valve, it's kind of like, all right, go on, do something because, or like, you know, think up of stuff, do your own thing around the company. And then when you have an idea, like, they're just like, okay, like, let's hear you out. Like, what's your idea? And then, I think, what's it called? Double Fine kind of does it the same way, where it's just like, oh, you have like everybody gets their turn of like sort of an idea, but with Valve, it's like you just start working on your own shit if you have your own idea, and if you present it, it's like, okay, we can do this. So.
Yeah, and then like in the middle of a project, you can literally just go to another project saying like without being told to, or you can't do that or something like that.
Right.
I was like saying, damn, that's a very strange like system that they have around, but they're making hella money just from third-party titles through Steam.
That's true. Yeah.
So they have so much disposable income, which is very interesting of Valve because like I think like the idea is like every game that they released propelled the industry forward. Wouldn't you say?
Yes. Like, I mean, as far as for like third party stuff or like making money off the side of things, like I remember that with the start of like the Steam client and then having TF2, like their sort of market type of stuff, like they were making money off of that too, right? Because they were getting a cut of sales.
Well, what I'm saying is like, you know, like how like the types of games.
Well, what about like Left 4 Dead?
Talk about TF2. Yeah, like Left 4 Dead. Like was there any other game like it at the before then?
No, but I guess the question is like, how many have there been since? I don't feel like there's been like a lot to where you'd be like, they kind of propelled the industry forward.
Okay, well, I'm going to use Half-Life 1 as an example, right? Like the original Half-Life.
Yeah.
Back then, like the only shooters there were like Wolfenstein and Doom and Duke Nukem and stuff like that.
When was Half-Life?
Yeah. Half-Life. Yeah, the original Half-Life.
When do you remember when it came out?
1999, I think. I don't remember exactly when, but I remember like it came out around my middle school, I think. Now I can't remember.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like at the time, like there was no real shooter that actually had like an actual story with a narrative as you're playing through it with, you know, like instead of it being like super crazy like Quake or Doom was.
I mean, Doom had a story though, right?
It did, but it was crazy. It wasn't like it didn't really have like a super deep narrative to it.
Okay.
Relative to like Half-Life.
Right? And a deep narrative like Half-Life, but the way that Half-Life plays out, where it's like you are inside this story that is happening around you, and like other games at that time that were like, oh, here's like some text, or here's like we're gonna pull you out of the game to show you this like this scene or whatever. So
yeah, there's no cutscenes in Half-Life.
Right.
Oh yeah, I know. I played it.
Oh, you played Black Mesa.
Yeah, same thing, right?
Same difference.
Yeah, and not only that, like Half-Life, it actually forced you to aim, where like Doom and all that, like there was no like vertical aiming.
Yeah.
And what do you call it? And then that spawned like Team Fortress and Counter-Strike and all that. And the Counter-Strike was like the first of its kind to have an actual objective-based competitive shooter, other than just fly around and kill people, like how Unreal Tournament was and Quake was.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you call it? And it had like a more quote unquote realistic gun at the time.
Well, futuristic gun like in Quake and in Doom.
Yeah, but anyway, so there was that, and then another thing that Valve did was when Half-Life 2 came out, physics wasn't really a thing at the time. Like same with like water physics and like fire with oil and like like things flying. Like when you hit wood, it feels like wood, it breaks like wood. Like it lands like wood and stuff like that. And then, remember Ravenhold in Half-Life 2, Zeldrick?
Yeah,
like, there was that propeller thing that you let the head crab zombies walk into.
Yeah.
I know that part.
Yeah, that was brand new. Like that wasn't ever thought about that before then. Now, like when you look at it today, it's like saying, oh yeah, that's just a normal mechanic.
And that's kind of the point that I make with playing a lot of these older games is like, you got to put your mind back in 98, 97, whatever the fuck, and be like, okay, like how good is this game in that perspective? And you could definitely make the criticism of, yeah, this game didn't age well, kind of like with UT and like Kane and Lynch 1. But like, still taking a step back is like, was this actually revolutionary at the time? Was it, did it do great strides? Did it introduce anything new? That sort of thing. And that's what we've all been saying about Half-Life and Half-Life 2. Like the reason why like these games come about is because they have something new with their engine, or they want to do something that hasn't been done before, or, that sort of thing. And that's the reason why Half-Life Alyx is a thing.
Yep. Have you guys watched any gameplay of it? I kind of skipped because I want to play it eventually.
I probably have watched a total of 5 minutes.
Yeah, I probably watched like the first minute or like the first section of it where people were just drawing on that window.
I mean, my 5 minutes has been a total of like seeing 30 seconds here, 30 seconds there. And it's like all of different parts. And that's it. Like I don't really have much of a basis as far as for how anything goes. But I saw like how one puzzle was, or how you were supposed to do one specific thing when you got a tool. And I was like, oh, okay, that's neat. And I turned it off because I do plan on playing it eventually. Probably in like the next month.
Oh, nice.
Cool. I'm so jealous because I want to play this so badly. The first 5 minutes. Yeah, I'm not rich like you.
Well, you know what? That's what tax returns are for. And that's what I spent my tax return on last year, was just a Vive. And that was so selfish of me. But hey, I'm still alive, right?
Yeah. Well, anyway, so the most interesting thing I saw about that, that particular game was a video of a math teacher virtually teaching his class using the markers on the window
of Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah.
Oh, why? And
you can literally watch it. It's like a 17-minute video on YouTube where you can literally just watch this guy just teach a math concept on this window.
There are a couple of other programs I think you'd be able to do that more efficiently without a Half-Life Alyx world, but okay. Like, kudos to you for using a game that you wanted to play that you have just to teach a math lesson, but all right.
Yeah. Look it up on YouTube. There's literally like a 17-minute video doing that.
Jesus Christ. But no, I'm glad that like Half-Life Alyx is a thing, and the fact that I don't know about how much more story depth it I'm sure it does give more story depth between 1 and 2, or just like more of a prequel of 2.
Or episode 2. Because that cliffhanger is keeping everyone anxious still.
Right. And like, I mean, I don't know. Like at this point, because like VR stuff, like the reason why they did Half-Life Alyx was because VR was the next concept they have actually have worked on, besides like a tech demo for the Vive and and the Index sort of thing. Like it's still one of the things. When are we going to get Half-Life 3? When are we going to end this cliffhanger, if at all? So
yeah, that cliffhanger kills me so badly. I want to see what happens next, or what they had in mind on what they had next.
So does the rest of the world, and
except T.
Except T.
Well, I don't know what the cliffhanger is. I've never played 2.
Awesome.
Let me tell you, you got to play 2.
Yeah, I'm still gonna play
I don't
it.
care if you have to skip through Half-Life 2. You can just play episode 1 and 2.
I gotta do the whole thing. It's my rule. So I gotta make it through Black Mesa, really.
I had fun with I had fun with Half-Life 2.
Oh, I don't doubt it's a good game, because that's probably like there was enough. I'm sure there was enough time between 1 and 2 where they could make like pretty significant like improvements on, you know, a lot of things that probably I found it to be a gripe in the first game. So I mean, I'm not like worried about the idea of should I play 2. I'm going to play it. It's just like a question of building up to it. Just being like,
and there's actually more narrative in 2 than there was in 1.
Yeah, because I think I actually started 2 because like you start out with the soldiers in like a subway or something like that, right? Then you walk out into a city. You start off in the
train.
Yeah, train. Yeah. Then you walk out into the city and there's like
train, and then
soldiers harassing you and stuff like that, and little robots flying around.
Propaganda
and stuff.
happening.
Yeah, pretty sure I played that game.
The video propaganda.
Yeah.
Basically North Korea and America.
Yeah, I definitely played I think I played all the way up until you escaped that area, because that's probably why I remember the part that you're talking about with the head crabs or whatever, and then like the blade, the spinning propeller blade. It was like right after you got the gravity gun, sometime around there, and that's where I stopped. But it came with the orange box, right?
Yeah,
I think that's why I played it. Yeah. I just didn't finish it, so I'll play it. But yeah, still definitely gonna play Alyx too, or at least I'll probably watch Zeldrick play it if you're gonna play it within the next month or so. But I want to play it eventually once I get an Index at some point.
Yeah, I mean, after with Resident Evil 3 remake and Final Fantasy 7 remake on the horizon right now, we'll see by like the end of April.
Yeah.
But yeah, I plan on getting it pretty soon.
Holy crap! Final Fantasy remake is in like 2 weeks.
Yep.
Wow.
And Resident Evil 3 remake is the 3rd.
I'm not playing that though. I'll let you play that one.
Yeah, I'll let you play that one too.
I
never actually played the first 3. The first Resident Evil was 4 for me, but I did watch my friends play 2.
I never even played. I've never seen 4. 1. The first one I actually played through the entire thing was 5. And that was because it wasn't scary at all, because it was co-op.
4 wasn't that scary either, because it wasn't like, like dark.
It was pretty intense though. I've watched enough of it. It was pretty intense. It wasn't scary.
Oh yeah, there were some intense parts, but I wouldn't call it scary.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Minus the cockroaches. Apparently those are really scary.
Yeah, I hear somewhere that like cockroaches are really scary, but
like enough to make you stop playing the game,
Yeah, but like I can't. Somebody said it. I don't know who.
Okay.
Anyways, moving on. What do you have for us, Zeldrick?
I have well, I mean, we did mention Final Fantasy 7 remake, but this was mentioned sometime earlier in the week, and there's going to be a completely new section for Red 13. And there, even before this news, they had already announced that Red 13 is not going to be a playable character, and everybody flipped their shit. And it's like,
but I thought I saw him in like the gameplay from the demo. Was he not playable?
He said playable character.
I know, but he wasn't playable in that? I thought I saw him in there.
He might act. The thing is he'll act on his own accord. You can't actually control him.
Okay, got you. All right. So he's still part of your team, but you don't tell him what to do, basically.
Correct. I think that's how it's going to be played. Either that, or it's he doesn't attack at all, and you just have your 4 party members. And everybody lost their minds because it's just like, why can't we play as Red 13? Because he was in the original and shit like that. And it's like, cool your jets. Red 13 is at the end of Midgar, but I digress. There's a new section for Red 13 where you do actually get to play as him, but you don't fight anything. It's more of like a platformer sort of thing because he's a animal and you jump around and stuff. So there is a playable section. It's just you don't fight it with him. So that might mark like the...
It might be pretty difficult to play as him, don't you think?
That is exactly what I was thinking when they announced that he won't be a playable character or a fighting character. Because it's like because when you play the original, when he does a normal attack, he lunges and kind of does like a spin forward. And it's like, that's going to be really hard to mash a button on and then try to maneuver around, because if you played the demo, when you play as Cloud or Barrett, like you have to be moving around. So I think this was more of, we don't have the controls down or the idea of how we want Red to interact with enemies. We don't have that down yet, and we're going to wait until the second part to be able to give you that chance to play as him. So because in the original, like the way he attacks is really fucking weird. Yeah. So, but a little bit of a thing that there's going to be a completely new section just for him, and it's essentially a platformer type of thing because it's navigating and stuff like that. So, otherwise, Iceborne has a event coming out that is Assassin's Creed related, and that is on April 10th, and you'll get a Assassin's Hood. What it does, I've read over this, and I don't actually think they give details as far as for what this Assassin Hood does. Probably a hiding thing. I'm not sure. And a little bit of another thing. The event is April 10th. And I believe that is for both PC and console. So the timelines for PC and console for Monster Hunter World are lining up, and I think this is the first mark.
Damn, that's crazy,
isn't it? Like,
a Japanese company is able to do that now.
It took them a long time, but it was like, they are so passionate about Monster Hunter World, and because it is a huge success, they're like, we have to push development on the PC version. We need full manpower on this so we can line these dates up so that way PC is not hanging behind. And that's great. I'm so happy that they're thinking about that now. And now the next thing is crossplay. But anyways, and then another little thing is that the Dark Souls and Bloodborne composer is back to handle Elden Ring, which
is that still a thing
what's Elden
at this
Ring?
point?
I haven't heard of this Elden Ring in what seems like a millennia. So what the fuck is this? Like, where are these updates, George R. Martin? Oh wait, never mind. You're not finishing the story.
I was gonna say, you picked the wrong guy to ask, dude.
Yeah, right. Fucking.
You find that out in like 5 years after he finishes Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And that's when he starts.
Exactly. Like, all right, time to start Elden Ring.
But yeah, the Bloodborne, I mean, as far as for Bloodborne, the music was really good. Bloodborne music was really, really good, and it did set the mood. Let's see.
I got a news story.
The last line is in this is that Kitamura is a From Software favorite, as she handled the music in Dark Souls 2 and 3, Bloodborne, and Sekiro, which I'm glad that they also dropped Sekiro because that had beautiful music and had really good music. So yeah, Elden Ring is, I guess, shaping up. Anyways, Sharpie, what did you have to say?
God of War was delisted from the PlayStation exclusive, just like Horizon Zero Dawn and Death Stranding.
Oh, shit. That's actually amazing.
Wait, what? They were delisted from what? PlayStation exclusive?
As a PlayStation exclusive.
Only on PlayStation.
Really? God of War?
On the PlayStation Store. Yeah.
And I'm going to take a guess that it's the 2018 God of War.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
and chances are it's probably going to come out on PC now because it's been like, I think like developers are starting to see like, okay, well, we'll keep it exclusive for this amount of time. Okay, enough people played it. Okay, now let's just release this to, other platforms so we can make more money off that same game.
Right. And I'm so glad that they are doing that. I would love to play God of War again. That game was so good.
At 60 FPS.
Exactly. Like
instead of the 30 that you've been playing on.
Even then, like the 30 frames that God of War had, it was consistent. I don't think I noticed any frame drops on that at all. And it ran really, really good.
With a very loud PlayStation.
I mean, it heats up my room. So at least we got that. But no, like to have God of War running at 60, that's going to look so good. And with PC configurations, it's going to look beautiful. I can't wait. I really can't wait.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not confirmed that it's coming out on PC, but history shows Horizon Zero Dawn and Death Stranding was,
Well, Death Stranding, wasn't it from the get-go?
Knowing Kojima, yeah, but
But the other thing is that a week before the game dropped, it was that there was a listing for PC. It was
because
on
of somebody
Steam.
leaked it.
No, it was a listing for Steam.
Was it?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
There was a banner on Steam and everything. I think it was the week before or the week after.
I remember the banner. I just don't remember when that was.
It was right at the time of launch. I'm so sure of that.
Yeah, I mean, I know it was around that time. I just don't remember if it was before or
not. But yeah, these exclusivities from Sony going on to PC is pretty damn good.
Especially one of the biggest names that was on PlayStation, which is God of War. Yeah.
This was reminding me about the Horizon Zero Dawn being listed for PC and everything. Did you guys hear about some whack job destroying his office because of that?
What?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
So
why?
Oh, because the console wars never ended, apparently.
Oh, he was just mad that a supposedly exclusive PlayStation game was going to be on something else.
Yep, because some big fat baby was like, no, PC can't have my game. And he trashed his office and everything. And then the developer or the president of for Horizon Zero Dawn, for Guerrilla Games, some head guy was pretty much called him out on it. And it was like, dude, you're wrong. What the fuck are you doing? Shut up. and the exact reply was, I was just joking, LOL.
I mean, did he actually trash his office?
Yes, he did. He very much did.
Yourself joking.
It was so fucking dumb. But there are still people out there willing to fight the age-old console war that is seemingly over, or that people don't give a shit anymore, or for the majority, anyways.
Yeah.
So
that's funny. Did you guys get to see any of the Nintendo Direct Mini?
Was it the Indies?
What's that?
Was it the Indies one? No. I'm talking. That was before. Sorry.
Yeah.
I heard of one announcement from it.
Which one did you hear of? Was it Smash?
An ARMS character. Yeah.
The ARMS
coming
character
to Smash.
Yeah. Should be interesting. I'm actually surprised that it took this long. Although ARMS did seem kind of to fall off the map almost immediately after it came out. People seem to love it, but then it was just gone.
That's kind of the sad thing. It's one of the kind of like Wonderful 101 or there's another game that I had in mind. I totally forget. But
I don't know anything about ARMS.
But like it seems like there's always like a Nintendo title that is like it gets a bunch of good hype like right at the beginning and it immediately tanks as far as for how like much is talked about it. ARMS is a one-on-one fight and each of your Joy-Cons is a punch move, but like you actually have to swing your arms to be able to do the move, I think. Or no, they have a controller option, I believe. I forget. But anyways, for all I know, I only know of the actual movement controls. If you punch straight forward, you do a regular punch. You can do a hook, and your arm goes way out to hook around them, and to block, you actually have to move the Joy-Cons back and forth and stuff to like be able to block or something like that. But anyways, it was essentially like a brawler / boxing game.
Yeah, it's kind of like a boxing game.
And it was pretty unique, and it had different characters with different gimmicks on it. And it was pretty good from what I saw. It looked like it was a lot of fun, but it dropped off the radar. And I'm glad that they are bringing an ARMS character because it is a very unique style.
Yeah. Be interesting to see how like they fit into the game, considering, like you said, super unique style. So it's kind of like a range type class, maybe.
That and also what character skin they're going to use and what character from ARMS, because they didn't actually say who.
I mean, I wouldn't even know any of the characters from the game. I never got a chance to actually play it, but I have seen people play it before.
But what else from the Nintendo Direct?
So the Ring Fit Adventure rhythm game.
Yeah. I guess it's kind of like a new mode for Ring Fit Adventure.
It's like Beat Saber, but with the ring.
Yeah.
For a game you still cannot get. It's
still unavailable everywhere. Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. I've been looking for 2 months now. But yeah, it was kind of uneventful for me personally because like I think it's one of my biggest annoyances that I've told you guys this before, but I've had kind of annoyance about Nintendo where like you buy the console and then it seems like all the big announcements are either something you've played before or something that like something you played before in terms of a Nintendo IP or something that has been on another system in some other version for like years. So like, I mean, when they were doing the mini direct, it's like, oh, well, Xenoblade Chronicles is coming and BioShock and Borderlands and XCOM are coming. Some DLC.
Panzer Dragon.
Yeah, Panzer Dragoon, which I mean, that's like a remaster.
Dragoon.
Yeah, that's at least a newer version of it. Some like updates for like Marvel Ultimate Alliance and Animal Crossing. And
I did not know they were still updating games for Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Well, sorry, it's 3. But I mean, it seems like people liked it. You beat the game and then what do? Try to beat it again with like other characters? I don't know.
It's after that, it's a bunch of challenge rooms.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. One of the biggest announcements actually though, it was interesting to see like the reaction of it was like that Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy is like on the Switch. Like it was as of the day that they were talking about it. So apparently they did like an up-res of the original Jedi Academy. So like, multiplayer lightsaber battles and stuff like that. Kind of like a little, we'll say a 3D arena combat fighting game kind of thing. Not fighting game, but 3D arena combat type game. And that's interesting. But along the lines of that, they also announced that like pod racing is coming back. They're actually like they're gonna
pod racing.
Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. They're gonna like release a pod racing game coming soon. So, which I think is funny because I feel like everybody thought the original Star Wars pod racing game was pretty trash. But people seemed excited to see like what a new version of it would look like. I honestly think that would be badass. I don't know why it hasn't been done between then and now, between like when Episode 1 came out and now. when the first pod racing game came out, and now another stab at pod racing, because it seems like if it's done well, if you get like, based on, you guys saw episode 1, right? Like Star Wars, yeah. So based on how they have the races where like all the vehicles are like customized and like you have their own looks, and some of them were built for speed or power, like it'd be cool to have like a really fleshed out, customizable, like a game where you can like customize your pod racer and then race against people and fine tune it and stuff like that. That'd be pretty badass.
Make it like Need for Speed Underground.
Yeah, as long as you figure out how to make the actual racing part fun, because that part, I think part of the problem was that it wasn't fast. So it's like you have like this pod racer, but then it's just kind of like,
wasn't it also glitchy?
I'm sure it was glitchy.
Yeah, it was.
It's been a long time, so I don't remember exactly. I don't remember playing it, but
so part of like what you're saying is like if they made this a lot faster.
Oh, I think it has to be. I feel like almost it,
or it has to feel.
It
faster.
has to be like oh god, what is it called? There was a game on, I think it was on Vita. It was on PlayStation 2. A racing game where you had kind of like futuristic spaceships and on like a track. You guys know what I'm talking about? Oh, this is gonna haunt me. It's super well revered like racing game.
Wipeout?
Is it? Yeah, Wipeout. I think it needs to be Wipeout fast. Honestly.
Okay, so I'm going to mention a game that was on the 64 as well. That was I don't know if it was before before episode 1 pod racing or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you guys know of Extreme G?
No.
I demand that you look up at least some gameplay footage of this, because Extreme G is like extremely fast. Like if you want to like put the tiers of like at this time era of games that were like really, really fast, like Extreme G was below F-Zero, but like not by much. This game was like really fucking fast. And I think that's more of like along the lines of what we're getting at here for like how fast.
I mean, have you played Wipeout though?
I have.
Okay.
And like that one's like just ridiculously hard.
Actually, you know what? Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm just talking about more so sense of speed is what I saw. Yeah. And I'm looking at Extreme G right now. I thought
the sense of speed, Need for Speed Underground did a great job on that because of the motion, the way how they handled motion blur.
Yeah.
Yeah. My experience being like with Underground 2, and like that one, it was pretty good, at least for the speed of drag racing. That one was really, really good.
Yeah.
But I think that with the pod racing, it has to be faster than that. It has to feel faster than that.
Because that was like one of the things that was...
I think it has to come down to the feel of speed.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that was like what was exciting about like... It was what was exciting about the actual scene in like the movie was that it looked like it was super fast. But like even... So in the game, I'm going to send you guys a video real quick. And yes, it's on Bing, Sharpie. You don't gotta say nothing.
Why is it on Bing?
I don't install anything on these computers. It's just what it came with. So I'm still on Microsoft Edge. But if you look somewhere around like the 2-minute mark, you'll see what I'm talking about. Where it's like, it kind of captures the idea, but it feels like slow and boring.
And I think part of the reason why is because like you don't have enough objects racing past you, and you don't have enough objects around you.
Yeah.
And to weave around too.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the glitchiness.
So yeah, actually, you know what? I will say that this game would have to try to match terms of like F-Zero for this GameCube or the 64. Like that type. You need to be able to see and feel that you're going just insanely fast.
Yeah, and I mean,
I think the best way to do that is like lowering the camera angle. If they can do that properly.
What's that? You can't see as much?
No. If you lower the camera angle, it feels a lot faster. I can contest to this. It's because if you played like any MMO with tall characters and short characters, like when I played WoW and Final Fantasy 14, I played short characters, right? And then like it feels like, to me that was like normal speed, but when I played like a tall character, I was like saying, why does it feel like I'm going so slow? Because the camera was a lot higher.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to imagine this. Like, I feel like having the camera lower for this game would kind of just make it I mean, definitely make it more intense because it would make it that you literally can't see as much. So it's kind of like it might feel like stuff is
an actual pod racing.
Exactly. I mean, or actually, you know what? I wonder if it would even be a solution to be like it's all first person. That would actually be kind of interesting. So it's actually kind of like pod racing. You only see from the cockpit. Plus, it would be cool to just see like, you know, your engines in front of you kind of moving left and right and turning and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, you can do that in any
yeah, no, what I'm saying, force it so that like just to make sure you have that feel.
Damn, they have to get the field of view right. They have to get the
there's a lot of stuff they'd have to get right
correctly.
Yeah. But it's still interesting. I kind of like the idea of the existence of a potential cool pod racing game coming. But I just hope they really execute on it because I'm pretty sure that N64 game was the last one that they tried. And that's like all people have for like kind of such an iconic scene from like the Star Wars
Maybe
universe.
It's a good thing that they let all this time pass.
Could be, yeah.
Because like imagine if they just try to come out with it all the time. But it's like the reputation of it had.
The other thing is though, but
significantly.
But the downside to it also is that like in letting all this time pass, the people who probably were the most nostalgic for how cool the pod racing was, we kind of grew up. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So it's like, I'm sure kids would still love it, but it's like, are they going to love that better than they're going to love any other racing game? Because they don't have like that
Mario
Star Wars.
Kart?
Yeah. Like, cause they don't have the Star Wars reference we do for episode 1. So, and there hasn't been pod racing in a movie since that first one. So yeah.
True.
Yeah, it still sounds kind of cool.
Did you really think Wipeout felt fast? To me, it didn't feel as fast.
Let me make sure.
I was playing on PlayStation 3, like the PlayStation 3 version.
I don't remember it feeling fast at all. Like to me, it just felt very glidey.
As soon as I was playing anything above like beginner level, it felt insanely fast to me.
That might be what it is. Yeah. Okay.
Because it was more that like I wasn't able to do turns correctly and drifting. It's a completely different game to learn the drifting mechanics of. Because if you try to bring over like, oh yeah, like I played Burnout or Need for Speed or some shit like that, it's like, no, you're gonna have a bad time. You need to learn this game specifically. So
yeah, no, but I'm talking about the environmental effects, right? Like, you know, like the effects that they put in. Like to me, it didn't feel fast.
I don't know. It felt fast to me. I mean, I get glidey, yes, but like it felt fast to me.
I'm looking and I'm seeing some gameplay right now that I see exactly what Sharpie's talking about, but I don't know if this could be easy mode or it could be like standard mode or whatever. But it definitely looks very slow. Looks like kind of painfully slow.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch like the first Need for Speed Underground, it's like I know I keep going back to that, but I feel like that's such a good like racing.
Yeah.
Like the first Need for Speed Underground. I also like 2 too, but I think the first one did significantly well. But because like the way how they like the progression of everything just made it so nice with the first game.
Yeah.
And like the sense of speed that they put into the game.
Yeah, I mean, whether or not I was right on that, we all know what I mean. It needs to feel faster. So I think we all kind of understand what that means. I kind of feel like, or even Burnout. Let's just say Burnout, because I feel like we all know that Burnout feels fast as shit. Like at least Burnout Paradise, I remember. So because we all know that one. Yeah, that's kind of what I mean.
The right amount of camera shake, the right amount of
there's like a lot of stuff that goes into it. Totally. But yeah, so I'm excited about that. There was also like, just to mention that Burnout Paradise Remastered is going to be on the Switch. Saints Row 4, Minecraft Dungeons. Zeldrick, you might want to play that.
To this day, you guys, we talked about it last time.
Dude, it's never going away. It's absolutely never going away. But yeah, it was kind of underwhelming, and I kind of hate that because realistically, I think Nintendo's actually a pretty good example of when you don't have, even though they do have competition in Microsoft and Sony, they kind of don't. Like I feel like they're in their own little world. And because of that, I always feel like when I watch these directs and like learn about new games, it's just kind of like, I'm not excited because I don't feel like they have anybody that's forcing them to step their game up. This is kind of like why, a lot of stuff they announced is like stuff we could have played like years ago at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the Nintendo is not known for its graphical fidelity. They're more for like, aesthetics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like they can have shit graphics, but nice ass looking aesthetics.
Oh yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be like everything realistic looking graphics aren't
literally
the only
means
thing.
just, or I think from my understanding, like good graphics means a lot of polygons.
Yeah, I get it. Well, I mean, I guess I don't even think though. I don't think of it as like most realistic, most lifelike equals best, because I do like 2D animation and I like stuff that's cell shaded and all. There's like a lot of different styles that just like look really good.
Yeah.
But to me, it's more so just like, I don't know. I'm about experience. So like it kind of throws me off when there's this like console that I paid, a couple $100 for, $300 for, whatever it is. And then they're like offering me BioShock, which is like, loved it, but I own it in like 2 different formats already because people have been giving it away for free. You know what I mean? Like I've gotten it up for free on PC. I've gotten a free copy on like Xbox Games with Gold, and I own the actual copy. And that's like their big announcement. that kind of thing is what kind of throws me off. I wish Nintendo had a little bit more competition to sort of push them to, even if it's not just like we need to have PlayStation or Xbox level graphics, but at least to say like, we're offering you super unique, super well thought, fleshed out experiences that you can only get here versus whatever other console is offering you. I don't know. It was just kind of underwhelming for me. Just like it is every time.
Not Bravely Default 2.
I don't really know Bravely Default. Like, I don't know anything about that game.
Basically, like, this is something that a lot of when the first game came out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a JRPG that like a lot of people's been asking for this style of JRPG for a long ass time. Because, Square didn't really do anything. Like all they did was try to innovate and made the, their games much more, quote unquote modern, right? But especially with their Final Fantasy games.
Yeah.
And they try to make it super like, and this was my argument since the beginning, which is like they make Final Fantasy less of a fantasy game, and Bravely Default is a fantasy game.
Okay. Did people like play Bravely Default like crazy or something?
Yeah, it was super well received, but it was on a handheld device.
Yeah, it was on the DS.
But Bravely Default 2 is on the Switch. And I think, and I watched a lot, I've seen a lot of people on my Twitch just playing it.
Interesting. Okay.
But then they went back to, after they finished it, they went back to, farming.
Wait, what?
And talking to animals.
Animal Crossing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha. Oh, that's cool. Did you guys haven't played that yet, right? Just watched Animal Crossing?
No, I don't plan to.
Yeah.
I don't have a Switch.
Would you?
Yes. I would play Animal Crossing.
That game is such a time sink.
I mean, unless you know how to play it.
Was there like shortcuts?
No, I was watching
something?
Waterbox play it yesterday, and you were like saying, "Dude, I think I need to like set a non-official time on my thing so I can actually do this stuff." Because he's at work or something like that.
Yeah, like Animal Crossing has been like, for a lot of people, like they spend a lot of time on it, but and you can play Animal Crossing however you want to, but it just seems like that Animal Crossing this time around is like playing it at whatever pace you want to, whether it be slow or
was
fast,
that not the case with the first one?
The first one, like, I don't really recall what the time restrictions were. Like, if a certain thing took X amount of days to be able to be built or moved or whatever. I don't think that was a thing. However, in this new one, like, it takes like 2 days for like the museum to get to your island or to be built. And then, like, let's say that you want to make plans, or you have to make plans if you want to build a bridge. And then once you have the plans to be able, or you get the ability to make the plans of doing the bridge, it takes like a day and a half to do that bridge, I think. And if you want to move it, it takes another day and a half to do that or something. Like it's specifically tied to real world time of how long things take, kind of like a mobile game of like reset timers and stuff. Or like progress on like upgrading
so if it's
something.
like nighttime right now, it's nighttime in the game.
Yes, on your game, because like it also deals with like your time zone, your hemisphere, that sort of thing. And that's why like there was kind of a controversy between people like time skipping on Animal Crossing and everything. But people either just want to create content, which is like making their own village and making their own houses and doing their own creativity in the game. And then, or people just wanting to progress and don't want a time wall blocking them. And then there are other people that are just like, you shouldn't do that. You should play how it's meant to be played or whatever the fuck. And it's like, oh, it's not affecting you, so you can shut up. But I get it. It like, I remember that there was some argument on this because, just that, because people were getting mad that people were time skipping. But the reason why that they were getting mad was because, and this is my idea, is it means that their time and energy is then invalidated by people that are just, gaining the system and moving their switch forward in time. And it's like, it doesn't affect you, really.
Yeah.
It just means that you're playing it the way that you want to, and everybody else is playing it the way that they want to.
Yeah, it's kind of like playing Call of Duty Mobile with a keyboard and mouse.
Exactly. It is actually, no, you're right. It is exactly the same thing. Like, I don't know. Like, but I would definitely not be one of those to time skip, but that's just because like I want to put in the work and then like be able to I guess like put it down for some amount of time, and then once I know that, oh, this is done, like I'll go back to it and then do a little bit more, and kind of like a phone game. Pick it up here, do some stuff, stop for a little bit, pick it up here, do some stuff, that sort of thing. More of a casual pace rather than go hardcore on crafting building game. So
sure. So real quick,
would you get it?
Oh, absolutely not. I'm out.
T?
No. You guys hear me?
Or I don't know what happened to him. But,
I don't know what happened to him either.
Oh.
You guys can hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now.
It's weird. I didn't even change anything. I was talking. No, but okay. I was saying I'm out. I'm not playing that game. But anyways, I was also gonna bring up. So we had talked about like. So let me just headline real quick. So Wonderful 101 is actually coming out in May.
Yeah.
So like I guess they just like last week they kind of announced the release date for it. That's the one that we were talking about a little ways back where it was like they put out a Kickstarter for it, but they had already like planned to make the game or something like that, right? And they were trying to gauge interest in, they want to gauge people's interest in seeing like another version of the game. Is that the one?
Yeah, that's the one. The article that LadyInfamous brought up was that, and she was on the defense of, but they're just taking your money, and it wasn't the case because the line within the article was that yes, it was to gauge interest, but the money for the initial goal and for stretch goals was to get it remade and then ported onto other consoles because they needed to pay Nintendo to get it off the Nintendo platform.
Okay, I guess that makes sense because I guess it's going to be on Switch, PlayStation 4, and Steam. So yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I know you guys said you were interested in playing this, so I guess May 19th. I kind of watched. They have like a minute-long trailer that I was watching, and I feel like I kind of understand what it is now, and I kind of want to play it. It actually looks pretty interesting.
Right? Like, it's a super unique idea.
You just control like 100 people.
Yeah.
And have them turn into hands and stuff, like a giant hand and stuff like that.
Yeah. So you guys actually played the original, or you just seen it?
No, I watched somebody play it.
Okay, gotcha.
I played a demo at a GameStop for like a minute and a half before I gave up because the entire thing was broken. But I did see a little bit more of it.
Okay.
So,
sorry, what were you going to say?
I like the aesthetic. Well, this actually kind of leads into another thing that I wanted to talk about. Platinum. So we talked about some weeks ago about Platinum Games having their Platinum 4 website, and that the first thing was Wonderful 101 and the Kickstarter. And then the second thing, because there's 4 different items on the thing that they were progressively releasing announcements for. The second thing being Project GG, which is the ending of their superhero saga, which was or the trilogy, sorry, being Beautiful Joe, Wonderful 101, and then now Project GG. Now the third one of that was, and this kind of came out of left field. The third announcement was that they now have a Platinum Games Tokyo office, which is pretty big because that means that their business is expanding, and that's the least, or that's the least that I know about what that means. It just means that their business is expanding and they have more of a development team to be able to work on shit. And the fourth announcement is actually April 1st. So we'll be able to figure out what the final
Watch it be
item.
A lie.
I mean, I don't know about that because it was an official statement by Platinum Games. The fourth Platinum 4.
It's April 1st. They do April 1st in Japan, too.
Very good point.
This is true.
Oh, that would suck.
But like, that would really suck. Like, I don't know why this would be a thing to joke about, though, because this is pretty big. And I don't know about like, make some sort of joke game or whatever. It's like, okay, like I can imagine that. But when the first thing that you announced was a Wonderful 101 remaster that you did a Kickstarter for to get off of Nintendo's hands, like that's pretty big. And then an actual announcement for a new game called Project GG, that's pretty big because that CG was pretty fucking sick. And then the third thing being that your business is expanding. Like, that would be pretty disheartening to me anyways, that your fourth thing that you're announcing is an entire April Fool's joke. You can go fuck yourself. Like, no, you can go fuck yourself, Platinum Games. Like, I don't, come on.
Well,
like,
I mean, was it Tencent that also paid them now? A Chinese mobile company?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So there's that. Was there anything else? Because I have one more thing.
A quick thing I could say, because it was mentioned that physical copies of Final Fantasy VII were going to be delayed, and Capcom is that when they dropped the Resident Evil 3 trailer, they also warned that physical copies may be delayed as well. So,
damn.
Yep. I have something else to talk about, but it'll take a bit. So what you got?
Remember when we talked about Silent Hill last week?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I heard about this. Yeah.
It was axed by Konami, saying like, "Oh yeah, that's not real."
Yeah. Well,
of course, it's Konami. All they want to do is make pachinko machines.
Wait a minute. So which part though? Like, which part are you talking about? Because there's two different sides of the story.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they said something like, what do you call it? That it's not, they don't have anything planned yet, but that doesn't mean like anything is going to happen with that game in the future.
Okay, that's what I was referring to mostly. So like, okay, the fact that they aren't actually planning on anything, yeah.
I just think they should just be able to like sell that franchise and give it to Kojima.
Fucking, are you
That's
kidding
not
me?
gonna happen.
Or no, somebody else buys it and then they sell it to Kojima or give it to him.
Yeah. I guess that'd be a way to. I just know they did not selling it to Kojima directly.
Because what was the last time they made a Silent Hill thing?
The last Silent Hill game?
Wasn't it like
probably a
movie?
pachinko machine.
Oh, you're saying anything with that IP? Silent
Hill, yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be a pachinko machine. But the thing is like, when was the last Silent Hill game? Like, that's an entirely different question.
2012. Book of Memories.
Book of Memories.
I heard that one sucked.
Oh, I bet it's
on the Vita.
Yep. Okay.
And Shattered Memories on 2009. Jesus, it's been over a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah. That series has pretty much been buried. That like the only thing that is going to come out of Silent Hill is that if they completely redo it, if they start from the beginning, there's no coming back from whatever they were fucking doing at the end of that.
Did you play the games?
Man,
like, did
Konami's
you play the recent ones?
No.
Oh, okay.
I watched. I watched Shattered Memories. That was on the Wii, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I watched that one. That one was just funny. That one was really funny.
Like what?
It was stupid.
Like bad funny?
Yes, it was bad funny.
Gotcha.
You were saying, Sharpie, something about Konami.
Oh no, I'm just saying like Konami's like the either EA or Activision of Japan.
Except Konami isn't actually making games.
That's also true.
So like EA is publishing games, yes, and or making a couple here or there, but Konami is just hanging on to IPs and making pachinko machines and medical machines.
Yeah.
So, was there anything else that you guys had?
I don't have anything else.
I don't really have anything else.
The last thing I could say is that the developer Remedy, who made Control and Max Payne and Alan Wake, Quantum Break, they signed with two major publishers for two mystery next-gen titles.
Yeah. One of them was Epic Games, right?
It says, I didn't look entirely on this article. Like, the update for it was Epic Games did announce its publishing deal with Remedy, but okay. For some reason, I read this title incorrectly. It was like, I thought it was two different publishers, not like one publisher for two games. But yeah, it's with Epic Games, but it's more that like Remedy is making two more games that are like mystery titled or who knows what they'll be. Because at this point we're on I think there's two DLCs for Control, but the first one was released within the past month, I think, month and a half. I don't know. I just remember hearing about it recently. But the fact that like, I mean, yeah, it's with Epic Games, and
what I read was like Epic Games just says, we just want you to make good games, so here's some money, you can keep the IP.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, it's the fact that's
what it sounded like, or that's what it looked like it was written.
Right, but like it's more like because Remedy just has these good ideas, following with Control and Quantum Break and Alan Wake. Like, Well, yeah, people may say goods and bads about Quantum Break and Control. Like, there's still really cool ideas and unique ideas of ways of storytelling, especially with Alan Wake. But the fact that Epic Games was like, here's a shit ton of money, like, do something about it. And I'm sure they're going to be like, yeah, we're going to put it on the Epic Game Store for X amount of days.
Of course.
Right. It's more of like, oh man, like I want I want them to just have endless amounts of money to be able to do what they want, because I know they could make something really, really good. So
Yeah. I mean, just
excited for
dumping
this.
money to a company doesn't really mean that they're going to make something great either.
I mean, yes, I do understand this, but this is with the track record of what games Remedy has made. So, I mean, the other thing before all this was the Max Payne 1 and 2, I believe. And then Rockstar took all of Max Payne after that and they made 3. So like that was off of Remedy's hands, I believe. But Max Payne 1 and 2, like, I mean, yeah, they were goofy.
Oh, those are great games though.
But yeah, they were good. And the storytelling was pretty good too. As
With
like
Mark
the comic
Wahlberg. Yeah.
Yeah.
The comic book style, you really felt that it was like you were playing a comic book, and like it was like this whole tragedy and everything. Alan Wake was like a TV show, and it really felt like you were playing a TV show. And even the story for Alan Wake was really good. Not American Nightmare. That was just and then Quantum Break, it was like you actually felt like, I mean, you did have part of a TV series that you were watching, but also the ideas that Quantum Break had were really good too. I do want to play Control, and so far, like what I've seen of Control was really, really good too.
Everybody seems to love that game too.
Exactly. So the fact that like they've had some sort of like, I don't know about restriction, as far as for like, I'm so like, oh my God. So publishing by Epic, it's not like, oh, Epic's going to take it off their hands. From the way that you said that it was written, it was like, here's money, like go wild.
Yeah, we have all this money from Fortnite. Can just use it. we need to get rid of this money somehow. So here you go. We'll take 50%.
Probably the best they could use their money on. So while there's going to be like it's going to be on Epic Games for X amount of months. I just know that I want to say with certainty that whatever these two games are, they're going to be really cool. Yeah, and I can't wait to see what they are.
And it totally kind of it makes sense for Epic too, because like theoretically, if they're trying to enhance their platform, the Epic Games Store, then it's like, oh yeah, why not like give some money to somebody who you know comes up with like really cool, interesting ideas, and see what they can do with it. Like you said, with the idea that it's going to be on the Epic Games Store, probably exclusively, so that you can try to draw more people to that platform.
Right.
Yeah.
And
as a result, possibly a good game.
Yeah.
With all that money.
They got money.
They got money.
Be fine.
Yeah.
Even though they have all that money, their platform still sucks.
I mean, Steam kind of sucked for a while, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. But then, with all that money, though, like you expect.
Yeah, and Steam also kind of didn't have a reference. Like Epic Games has a reference in Steam. They could have been like, all right, let's like try to at least do what they're doing at a minimum. Like at least have a wish list or something, or like
they added that in like a few weeks ago.
Oh, did they really? Is it there now?
That was the major announcement for Epic Games Launcher. They finally have a wish list.
Nice.
But do you have a shopping cart though?
No shopping cart.
Yep, exactly. Like, come on, Epic.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be bullshitting us.
But yeah, that makes sense. Kind of makes sense. I'm just excited to see what they'll do with it.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it for this week. Let's all start closing out. Zeldrick.
All right. So you can find me on Twitch and on Twitter at Zeldrick. And this next week is it's going to be Resident Evil 2 remake. However, I'm not really like replaying the story. Like I'm wanting to get through get through it until we reach Jill's letter that Jill leaves at some point in Resident Evil 3 or like after that, because there's a reference. And then after that, not sure, because after like skipping all the cinematics and everything, like it'll probably be kind of quick. Get there in like 2 nights. But other than that, not sure. And Fridays also D&D at 5 p.m. Pacific. So you can catch me at Zeldrick on Twitch and Twitter.
You can catch me on twitch.tv/unsheathedp. I think this week, like I said, I know work's going to kind of go back to some semblance of like kind of like as busy as it was last week. I'll still be working from home, so I'll be playing some games, but I mean, it's not going to be as many as I had last week again, or sorry, 2 weeks ago again. But I think I'm going to try. Well, number one, I'll be doing some more remote play games. I just got to kind of figure out what that's going to be. I've been experimenting a lot with that and seeing what works and doesn't work. But I want to find some more stuff to play with. And I think I want to kind of try to beat something on my PlayStation because I haven't really done that in a while. So I was actually thinking of starting, ironically, God of War, because I started it and then didn't finish it. I only played like a half hour of it or something like that. Got past that super intense first battle. But I think I'm going to try to start that game, see how far I can get on it. But again, yeah, if you want to check me out, twitch.tv/unsheathedp.
All right, and I am JSharpie. You can find me at on JSharpie on Twitch, and you can follow me on Twitter on JSharpieTV. I am trying to. I'm actually you know what? I was actually thinking of the same thing as he was with the whole like booting up a PlayStation and actually finishing up the games that I started with, which is what do you call it? Gravity Rush 2.
But you've been talking about that.
Yeah, I started that. I said that last week, and I haven't done that, and I haven't even opened my PlayStation since I got this Gold XLR either. So I have to try to figure that out too. On top of that, but other than